Hello guys, welcome back to this project, to the ALS plus HE. This is the Advanced Locomotion System plus Horror Engine. Uh, Today is more than an update. I will be covering, um, let's say, a few requirements from the patterns. Uh, One of them is quite fancy, that is to be able to pick up the objects or to use anything that is in the scenario that is in range in a range. Let's say if I closer to this, I'll be able to place a button and pick or use all the items that are in range. And other one is a trigger that will execute or play a cinematic sequence that you already have at some point. So to start, I will start with the common one or the more simpler one, that is the trigger. Uh, it is not it is not for ALS only or not for horror engine only. You can implement this trigger in any single project that you have. It is very simple. As you can see, it is an actor. I will show you the actor. It is from class actor, so you only need to create a new actor for this. Basically, it is containing a box that is that it can be resized. Okay, it has a settings. I put the sequence that you want to play. That is the sequence that you would like to play, and it is very simple. Let's say the event graph is very simple. You will get in the event begin play, you need to get this sequence and create a level sequence player with it and assign uh, and set a new variable that is the sec player. So this one in example is instance editable and exposed on spam for you to be able to put the sequence that you want to play in the actor itself. So if I go here to details, you will see that the sequence I want to play is this one. Okay, so it will give you the ability to place as many of these you want, and then be selecting the sequence that you want to create without needing to edit it from scratch. Um, okay, so this part is covered. So it is the sequence, create label sequence player, assign to a new variable. That is very simple. You only need to promote to variable and then call it as you wish. I call it sec player in example. And then with when the actor start beginning overlapping this box, in example in this project, the collision I have set is custom. Okay, because I don't want to be climbable. If not, the ALS will climb it. If you have a project that has not this, it's not a problem at all. And all the rest is overlap. So overlap everything. Okay. So we want to be sure that the character that is overlapping this this trigger is the player, right? So we want to check that the actor that is overlapping is equal to the get player character 0. As this project is not replicated, it's not multiplayer, so we did it. We doing with the character 0. If it is this, we put a branch in here. Branch is very simple. You can write here branch, branch, or you just need to press the letter B, um, left mouse, and you will be placing a branch. Okay, so if this character that is overlapping this trigger is equal to the player 0, we are going to execute this only once. This is intended for when you are, in example, if you are triggering this, it will play the sequence, but not the second time and not the third time, only the first time. Okay, so if you want it to be always repeating the same sequence whenever you trigger it, whenever you overlap this, you need to remove these dot ones. But I believe we only want this to happen once, right? Okay, so first the third we are going to disable the input for the player. That what it's going to do is to prevent the player to be moving, to be able to be moved while the sequence is playing. Okay, so we are going to get the player control 0 like this. Get player control, sorry, control number 0. Okay, and we are going to disable the input. With this, we prevent the player to be moving. And then the sec player, that is the variable we promoted here, we are going to play. Okay, this is the first thing, and then we are going to get the duration of this. We are going to qualify to time to seconds. This is very important because we are going to get the seconds. So get duration from this. So get duration. Okay, and then qualified frame time to seconds. Okay. So this we are going to do a delay. So this is going to wait, or this is going to do a sleep for these seconds, for the time that this is, for the time that the movie is lasting. And then after the delay, after this pass, then we are going to get again the player control 0, and we are going to enable the input, just to make the player again being able to move. So let's see, I put the trigger in here. I created a sequence that is a very basic sequence that is moving a camera from here to here. So let's test it. So if I click play now, so here is my player, and whenever I hit the trigger, you will see. Now I'm not able to move, and now whenever it finish, then I'm able to move again. Simple, right? If I move back and move right, move again forward, you will see that it's not triggering again. Okay, so this is the first part I will be showing again. It's very simple. Remember, it will be a sequence that is editable and spawn. Create the sequence player, promote it to a variable, sequence player, and then in the overlapping box, remember to check if it is the player, the player 0, what is overlapping, a branch. If it is true, do this only once, disable the input, play, get the duration and qualify it to seconds, do a delay of this second and enable the input again. Very simple. I don't think this is too much to say about it. I will pass this quite slow. You can stop the video at any point. Okay, so let's go to the second part of this video. That is I will show how it is. This is what is happening. So now in example, I have this character, and if I go closer to any item, you will see that is an X on top. If I press the X, I will be picking up all the different objects. Of course, you can still do it with the mouse, as usual in Horror Engine. This is not a problem. Also, if you have here a door, for example, that is a use object, you will be able to see the X in the handle. So if you press the X, it will open it, and if you press the X again, it will close it. Also, you press the X in this side. Let's close it in here, let's say, and then open it from the other side, just for to check that it's going to the proper place. Here. Okay, so let's explain a bit what I have done to achieve this. To achieve this, what I have done is, well, first of all, I will say that this is going to be part of the next release, so it will be there. Okay, so I will explain you how to do it and what I have done. In example, for me, if you prefer to do only the old style that is only with the mouse. So I put here settings in the character using range. Now it is true. So if you put it in false, then nothing will nothing will appear nothing will appear in the X or anything. Okay. So only the old style. So let's start. First, we will need to create a widget that is the X thing that is happening in there. It is a widget, so I placed it in the widgets within Horror Engine in my custom folder. Okay, so here I have this pickup widget. You can call it as you wish. If you go inside, you will see that it's a widget, normal widget, with an image. Okay, this widget you need to put the screens and the size to custom, and I put it 100 by 100, and then you need to place an image here. The image I have placed. It is a well. I will show you how to do it from the beginning. Let's start with a new one. I will create a user interface. Okay. Widget blueprint. I will put use widget. Okay. So for this, you see, this is the normal, this is the usual, this is what you are going to find here. And I will put for fill screen, I will put custom. It is 100 by 100 already. So here I will going to find the image. Put it in here. You can call it as you wish, like X image in example. I don't know, it's not so relevant. So now with the image, you can see that it has the anchor put in the left top, and also it's quite small here. So first I'm going to do a few modifications. I believe this is suitable to be done with any image that you are putting in somewhere in your widget. So first I'm going to put the alignment of the anchor to the center of the screen. I will say I want to move this to 0, 0, but also to put the alignment to 0, 5, 0, 5. What this is doing is I'm moving to 0, 0 position, and I'm saying that the pivot or the center position or the center position for the image will be 0.5, 0.5, that is the middle, the half, and the half. So in this way you can move the image top and you always will have the half of the image or the point that is in the half, in the middle, as pivot. Okay. So now with this down, I will say I want to size to content. Now it is nothing. But if we select the image to the X button, I don't really remember what is the image. Is Xbox One X. Sorry, my daughter is here trying to explode this video. So let's say I will put this Xbox One X. So you will see now it is in the center, right? And for this, that's it. So you only need to compile, save, and that's it. Okay. So now you can see that there is no logic, there is no nothing inside. So you only need to save, and that's it. So now I'm going to delete this one because the new one I created. Let's see if this doesn't explode. Okay, so this is exactly the same as you can see. Okay. So with this created, we are going to create a new component. For this, I place it inside Horror Engine Blueprints component. So let's create a new component. The way to create a component is to right click in here, click on Blueprint Class, and you can put component. You can write component here. It is actor component. So you create an actor component like this. You have the component. Okay. So I will delete it now. So now that we have a component, you can call it as you wish. I call it use widget component. Okay. So let's see what is happening inside. It is very short, this component, but it's quite maybe it will be a bit complex for the new ones, for the new ones that join Unreal. So in this new component, what I have set is a relative transform that is a variable that I have set for, well, you can have it with instance editable or whatever, but this relative transform, that is a transform, okay? And draw size, that is a vector 2D. This vector 2D is giving you let's say, two figures, the X and Y, okay? So let's start. The first thing, I'm getting the owner, because this component is going to be inside an actor. So you are getting the owner, that is the actor that is having or including this component, okay? So I'm getting the owner, and I want to add a widget component inside with placing it in the relative transform. The widget is a widget component, okay? So this is going to be promoted variable to this widget component, okay? So now you have here the widget component, okay? Now in here we are going to set the widget space. This is like this, set widget space, okay, to screen. This is important because you want this to show always facing you. If you put 3D or world space in example, you will need to create some logic for the icon to be looking at you at all times. So it is better to put by now on a screen until you understand what is the 3D one, okay? So set widget space to screen, set the draw size, exactly the same. You set draw size. This is the draw size. This is the let's say the size that the icon is going to have on screen that we set in here, 50 by 50. Then we are going to create a widget. From here you can set create widget, okay? That at the beginning is going to be construct one, but don't worry. You only need to select the pickup widget, well, or the use widget that we already created. That's it. You see, create pickup widget. And then after that, we are going to set the widget for the component that we created. This is just like set widget, and we set the widget for this component that we created. We set the new one that we created with a pickup, with the use widget, okay? Then we are going to set the visibility to not to be visible. You can put this propagate to children just to be sure that if you put anything below this, it will be hidden as well. Set the visibility. This is going to prevent the X button to be shown always, even if you are not close. So set the visibility to hidden. And then we are set the collision to no collision. This is set visibility, is quite easy. And this is set collision. Set collision enable, and you say no collision. Okay, this is going to prevent the character to be colliding with the widget. Okay, so let's check it again. Get the owner, have the relative transform. In here, I will show you why we have here. That is very important. The draw size is not so important to have in here, but anyway, it's good to have it. So the relative transform, for the transform, it is a widget component. Okay, we put it in a variable here. We set the widget space to screen. The draw size we set in here. We create a widget for the pickup widget or the use widget that we already created. We set this widget to this one that we created. We set the visibility to hidden or to not visible, and we set the collision to no collision. Okay. So then we create a new custom event like this, and we call it as we want. It's not so relevant how we call it, but I call it show widget. Okay. What I'm doing with the show widget is getting the widget component, making it visible. Then we do a retriggerable delay, and then set visibility again to 0. What is the important thing here? It is the retriggerable delay. So this means that every single time I call this event, it will set the visibility and then re-execute the delay. Let's say if we are waiting zero point 0.2 seconds, but in zero point 0.1 I execute again, it will wait again zero point 0.2. It will re-trigger this delay. So if we do a delay like it is, it will be putting invisible, putting invisible, then again, and it will always doing it invisible with after 2 milliseconds, after 20 milliseconds, sorry. So it is very important to have the retriggerable delay. This you can put delay, and you have the retriggerable here. Okay. Remember, it is quite important to have the retriggerable, not the normal delay in here. So we are making it visible. We are doing a retriggerable delay. We are propagating to children as well, and then make it invisible. Okay. Simple. I leave here some point. I will go through this for you to stop the video at some point. Okay. So now we need to tell to the we need to tell at some point to the character to be able to discover all these let's say items that we have surrounding him. Okay. So for this, I'm going to the ALSHE character, because we already have this in this project, but you can do it in the horror engine. For example, if you are hoping in horror engine, in this project, I already had a function. I already had a function that was the discover items, discover objects. Sorry, but I will show you how to create it from scratch. Okay, I will explain it. So for this, I created a few variables in here in the item discovery, where I created few variables. That is the ones that I'm using now. Even I can delete this one because it is not more. It is in use? Say, show me where it is. I left there as backup. Okay, so I created a items in range use. That is a use for horror engine, and it is an array. You can click in here and set an array. Okay. I created two booleans. That is one that is items in range, that is false, and picking in range, that is false as well. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the discover objects function that you can create by your own. You can create a new function, put everything, all this in place. So let's start from the beginning. So I want to know first that we are not picking the object. Okay. So what is going to do is to prevent that we are refreshing the items in range when we are picking them. It can create some issues. So the first thing is to ensure that we are not picking the objects. Sorry. Then we are tend to say, sorry, the items in range is false. So it's just we are resetting everything. Item in range is false, and also we are going to get the array items in range in use, and we are going to clear. Okay, this is clear. Sorry again. So then we are going to do a multi-sphere trace by channel. This is like say multi-sphere trace by channel. It is very important the multi, and it is very important the channel, not for objects, not for profile, channel. Okay. So for this, we are going to use the get actor location, our actor location for start and end, and the radius, where the radius I have it in a variable that is the item discovering radius. I will place this in here. Item discovering radius, I put it as 120. Okay, you can put it as anyway. What this is going to do is create a sphere from your location and try to get all the hits based on visibility, on the channel visibility. Okay, remember the channel visibility, because if you don't want something to be detected. Example, indoors. Indoors, if I don't want this collision to be detected, because if not, it will be 120 from here instead of 120 from the door, right? But so what I'm doing with this collision is simply going to collision in here and telling the visibility to ignore. So then this multi-sphere will not detect this collision box. Okay, so this is quite simple. It's a multi-sphere from the position, start and end, from the player condition, position, with the radius that we have set before, that is 120. This is going to return several hits, like an array of hits. So for this, we are going to do a for each loop, okay? And we are going to cast this to inspectable. Okay, also we are going to break the hits. You can break it, you can get this and do a break. Hit result, and it's going to give you this, all this mess, okay? Let's put this a bit, well, anyway. So what we are doing here is an example for me. I have a variable inside the inspectable that is taken. If this had been already taken, but this is because I am adding this function for me is adding to the map. So you can, in example, forget about that or do it as I did. You only need to create a variable taken in inspectable and put it as true whenever you take it, whenever you use it. So you, in example, go to inspectable and check the taken. Here, find references. Here you have the set taken when it is taken. Okay, this is because in this project I have everything. Well, I have an inventory, a better inventory than in the normal horror engine. I'm having spaces in the inventory as well. So if we already have space, so less than 25, so then it is taken. So I'm setting to taken whenever it's taken. So this is preventing me to show this in a map, in a level map, when it is already taken. Okay, but you can avoid that, or you can just ignore this. Okay, so for me, I'm casting to inspectable. I'm checking if it is taken. Okay, if it is not taken, so then I'm casting to the player controller. Well, I'm adding to the map that is not relevant for horror engine or something already. And if you have already this project, this is already done. The only thing new in here is this cast fail. This cast fail to if it is used in range, like in the same way that we have here. That is the variable that we created. So this is use in range. If it is true, we are casting to use, and then we are going to add unique, the one that we have discovered, to the items in range variable. Okay, with this, if you remember, we clear in here the variable. So if we check, if we check, if we get an inspectable that is not taking a red yet, or it is not inspectable but is an use object. It is an use object, so we are going to add them to the items in range array. Okay, as unique. Then after this, we are going to check if this item that we have discovered, even if it is inspectable or if it is used, we are going to check if it contains the user widget component that we created before, right? If it contains it and it is valid, okay, we are going to execute the show widget method. It is the same in both places, and we are setting the items in range variable to true. Okay, so let's summarize. This for the ones that are using my project, this is already created with the difference of this. This will be the difference from, let's say, from here to from here to the end is the difference, including this new diversion in here. Okay, so let's cover it. I will do it very slowly for for you to copy. This is peaking in range. It is false. Remember, I put the items in range to false. I clear the item in range and get the location. I do a multi-sphere trace by channel from the location with a radius of, we already set up, 120. Then we do a for each loop of all the hits that we are discovering with the multi-sphere. We are breaking each hit. We are casting to inspectable. If it is not taken, the inspectable, let's follow first the top one. We are casting to inspectable. If it is not taken, we are adding it to the map. Well, this is not relevant for the ones that are not using this project. And the good thing is that here, if the character is suitable to use in range, this one that we created in here for the character, then we are going to add the item that we discover to the item in range use variable array. We are going to set the items in range variable as true. Okay. Also, we are going to get the component by class, the user widget component that we created. If and if it the object contains this component, it's going to execute the show widget from here. In the below the version, let's say for the use, we are going to do a branch here. If it is using range, okay, the same than here, than there, we are going to cast the actor that we discover to use, and we are going to add it to the items in range use array. We are going to set the items in range variable or boolean to true, and then we are going to get from the use, we are going to get the component use widget component. If it exists, if it is valid, we are going to execute the show widget. Okay, cool. So now let's move to the what is doing what is doing the pickup, the actual pickup. For this, the actual pickup, first we need to create an input for the pickup. I put pick items in range, so you need to go to project settings, from project settings to inputs, okay? You have here 2 million of inputs. So you can create a new one, or you can use and reuse any of them. I suggest you at the beginning to create a new one for easiness, for to be easier. I put it in the X from the keyboard, okay? The letter X. Okay, so if we go to ALSHE character or the horror engine character, sorry, blueprint. I go to event graph in horror engine. You can go to input example, and I have here the pick objects in range. So we need to call this input action. That's an example. If I put pick items in range, is a input action. Okay. When it is pressed, we are going to check that we have items in range. That is the boolean that we are setting up when we have something valid to add to the array, and if use is in range. Okay. If the use is in range, I do this double checking because it's always to double check that to then forget about that. So okay, so if these are both true, then I'm setting the picking in range boolean to true. Remember that this is going to prevent to refresh the list of the items that we have in range. I'm doing a delay of 0.2 seconds because well, I only want to be safe with this. I only want to this not to collide with the discovery. So I'm waiting 0.2 seconds. That is nothing. And then I get in the items in range use array that we collected in the discover objects. I'm doing a for each loop, and I'm calling use redirector. I will show you now this show redirector. And then when it is complete, so when all the items have been using this, then I'm setting up the items in range to false to start to allow again this discover object. I'm waiting another 0.2 seconds, and I put in the picking in range to false again. So sorry, this is going not to put the items in range to 0. This is waiting and this is picking in range. Okay. So let's do it again. So when I press the X button, that is a pick it in range, I'm checking if items in range and use in range are true, both. Then I'm setting up the picking in range just to prevent to fill again the list, waiting 0.2 seconds. Then I'm doing a for each in all the items in range array, and I setting up the use redirector that I'm going to show you now. And when it is complete, I'm setting false the items in range, waiting 0.2 seconds, and setting the picking in range as false as well. So I'm going to allow this to run again. So this use redirector, what it is, I have two options. One of them was to create a, let's say, an interface to be to not to do 1 million of casts, and the second option was to go to the use. So you can find the use, in example, in Horror Engine. If you go to Blueprints Core, you have here use. Okay, so you open it up, you can see that it's almost empty. It is empty, the event graph. You only have here a lot of functions. Okay, but it's empty. So what I did is to create a new custom event. Okay, and I call it use redirector and leave it, and I left it empty, only to have the event in there, the custom event in there. Okay. So with this, what we are going to do is, sadly, the use is not doing the same in all the use objects. For example, in the inspectable, use is for only for inspectable. Then for the candles, in example, is only for the candles. Then for the doors, is only for the doors. So what we are going to do is to create uh, a common event that will be calling the one that we want in these different objects. So as you can see here, I'm calling always use redirector. So how this work? I'm calling use redirector, and then, in example, in the inspectable, that inspectable are, in example, the flashlight, the torchlight, the all these different things, like the, in example, weapons, they are all inspectable. You can check this. In example, you go to any of these. In example, you go to this weapon. Let's say that is a shotgun. If you edit the shotgun, you will see that the class is weapon base. If I go to weapon base, weapon base, you will see that this is inspectable. The parent is inspectable. Okay. So for all inspectables, what we are going to do is to go to, we'll close all of this. In the event graph, we are going to, let's see, we have override here. Sorry. Override, and we only need to use redirector. Now we have use only, but if I, in example, delete this, I compile. If I need to override, use redirector. That is the one that we already created. We just created in the previous step. And this we need to check. Okay, what I want to do when I'm using this. What we want to do is to Where are you? What we want to do is to use, right? So we are going to call the use event. Sorry. So we put use, we go all the line down and to interactions we call use. Okay? So when we are calling this user director, we are going to use to execute use. Okay? Cool. So now, if we go to door in example, well, first of all, sorry, I forgot. I forgot completely. We need to add the use widget component in here. I will show you in a new example, a sliding door that is not having this component. But you only need to add a component, use widget component, and that's it. You forget about everything. And I will show you in the door in example that we have here. If we go to event graph, the user directory is going to use as well, because the use that is here, this is event open, the use is going to do the open or close. Sorry, no alternative. Event use is going to do the open. If it is open already, it's going to do the close. Okay. So with this, we do that. What we are going to do is whenever we are detecting objects surrounding us, it's going to show the X. So we can push the X, and all of them that were in array will be picked up. Okay. And now let's see another thing important. For example, in the sorry, in the expectable, if we go to the component, you will see that we have here in settings the relative transform and the draw size. This relative transform from here, in example, I said that from the item, from the location, I'm putting the X button 50 pixels above. Okay? So then the X is showing 50 pixels above the item. Okay? That's why it was important to have this. And the scale is 110. Okay? 111, sorry. But in the door, in example, where I want this to be shown, in example, this is the front side, is where the handle is, right? I don't want this to be shown 50 on top or on 00 or maybe here or maybe there. I want the X to be shown where the handle is. So the simpler way to do it is click on the handle, this, go up. You see here that it has the transform. It has a relative transform that is 83, 0, 100, okay? So I will copy this, copy, and I will go to my use widget component. Let's say here, and in relative transform, what I'm going to do is location, I'm going to paste, and that's it. With this, what I'm going to do is, in these items, you will see that it's 50 characters on top, you see, from the 00, but in the door, it is just in the handle. That I think is the best way to have it. Okay, so now that we have this, let's create a new, let's say, I will put here the, for example, this sliding door. Let's see, door, sliding door. I will put a sliding door here. Okay, have everything. In here you will see like now it is not showing the X because it has not the component. Well, it's showing the X because it's a use. But if I press the X, nothing is happening. Okay? It is nothing happening here. Okay. Nothing happening. Nothing happening. So now you saw that the X is showing here in the 0, 0. So now I'm going to go to the sliding door. That is this one sliding door. Sorry. We have here I inherited the use widget component. Okay. So the first thing we are going to do is to click this handle. In example, I'm going to copy the location. Copy. Now I'm going to use widget component. Open this. I'm going to paste this, and now the X should be shown in the place I want. Cool. But now if I press X, nothing is happening, right? So now for this to happen, what I need to do in a sliding door is going to event graph to check what it should be like the door. We should have a this is event open. We have an event use that is doing the open and close. Okay, so what we are going to do now is to go to the bottom. Remember, in these functions, I'm going to override the use redirector. Okay, so let's put this some better way. And now I'm going to say use. I'm going to scroll to find interactions, sorry, and put use. Okay. So now with this, we are going to compile, save. From here, now if I press now X, it is opening. And if I press X, it is closing. In the same way, we can pick everything up. Okay, so I hope you like this small tutorial. Let's see the trigger. Oh. Also, well, even if you have the X button enabled, you can still do the inspection and pick up, and also the pick up using the mouse. The X will save you time when you have 20 magazines in there and you want to pick up everything at the same time. But you still can use the inspection, everything that you wish. Okay. So to finish, let's kill a few guys. If you are new to this project, you will notice that I have set a lot of things. Like now with the arrows, you can select between Molotov and grenades. You can see there. Also with the wheel mouse, you can set the weapons. You go to the inventory with the I letter. You can check which weapons. You can put a weapon with the number 1. In example, you can put this as primary and this as secondary. Then in example, now I can switch with the numbers. Also, if you are new, you will notice that you can go inside the car. I can drive a car. Different views. So the car has some damage. have some damage system. So you know. And that's it, guys. I hope you like this small tutorial about how to add this to any Horror Engine um, project. So if you have any question, please drop me a message in YouTube, or you can join the Patreon, and I will pass you my Discord so you can speak with me directly, and I will be happy to help you on your goals. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye.